I backed away from the doorframe, heart hammering against my ribs. Celeste's words played over and over in my head like a broken record. You miss me already? Who was she talking to? What was she planning? My hands clenched into fists, nails, biting into my palms. I needed to breathe, think, do anything but storm in and demand answers. So I did what any man in my position would do. I retreated. Slipping back down the hallway, I made my way to the living room. The walls felt smaller, pressing in on me, suffocating. My mind raced with possibilities, scenarios I didn't want to consider. Had she been seeing someone behind my back? If so, for how long? A part of me wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe I had misheard. No. The way she spoke, the softness in her tone, the way she twirled a strand of hair around her finger, it was too intimate, too familiar. She had never spoken to me that way in months. That spark, the excitement in her voice had faded when she spoke to me. I needed proof. Grabbing my phone, I did something I never thought I'd do. I scrolled through our shared account, checking her call logs. A number repeated itself often, late at night, early mornings, during work breaks. No name was attached. A cold realization settled in my chest. Whoever she had been speaking to was important enough to warrant secrecy. I clenched my jaw, fingers hovering over the screen. Should I call? Demand answers from the other end? No, that wasn't enough. I needed more than suspicion. I needed evidence. The next few days, I played the part of a devoted husband, keeping my emotions locked behind a carefully crafted mask. Celeste remained distant, barely noticing the way I observed her every move. She started dressing differently, wearing perfume she hadn't used in years. Her gym sessions lasted longer, her phone never left her side. One night, as she showered, I finally had my chance. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A message flashed across the screen, the preview enough to make my stomach drop. Can't wait to see you again. Last night was unforgettable. I stared at the words, blood boiling, fingers trembling as I unlocked her phone. The messages that followed were explicit, filled with confessions of passion, stolen moments, secret meetings. Every word chipped away at whatever love remained. I set the phone down just as I heard the water stop. My body moved on its own, exiting the room before she could see me. I couldn't look at her, not yet, not until I knew my next move. She had no idea what was coming. I stood in the doorway, staring at the tangled mess of sheets and limbs before me. The air in the motel room was thick with sweat and betrayal, the scent of cheap perfume mixing with the stench of broken vows. Celeste gasped, her body frozen beneath. The stranger who had stolen what was supposed to be mine alone. The man, lean, muscular, younger, scrambled off her, his hands fumbling for his discarded clothes. My heart pounded in my chest, fists shaking at my sides. I wanted to lunge forward, grab him by the throat, make him feel the pain I was drowning in. But I didn't. I stood still, letting the weight of the moment crash over me like a tidal wave. James, Celeste stammered, pulling the sheets over her bare chest. I can explain. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Just emptiness, rage, disbelief. Explain? Go ahead, Celeste. Explain how you ended up in a motel room with him. Chewy. Man, some pathetic excuse for a lover, held his hands up. Look, man, I didn't know she was married. She said she was single. Celeste's head whipped toward him. What? I smirked. Oh, so you lied to him too? How many more lies have you been telling, Celeste? Because I think I just lost count. Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no love. Just the crushing realization that the woman I had dedicated my life to had destroyed everything we had built together. She reached for me, but I stepped back. Her touch, once something I craved, now repulsed me. James, please, just listen to me. Listen. I cut her off. Did you listen when I told you I loved you? Did you listen when you promised me forever?" I turned to the man who was now fully dressed, his eyes darting toward the door. "Get the hell out before I make you regret ever meeting her." He didn't need to be told twice. Within seconds, he was gone, leaving just the two of us in the wreckage of her deceit. Celeste sobbed, gripping the sheets like they could somehow shield her from the truth. "It was a mistake. I swear." I clenched my jaw, my entire body shaking. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is burning dinner. This, I gestured to the bed, to the betrayal that stained every inch of this room. This was a choice. She shook her head frantically. "I love you, James. I do." I let out a bitter laugh. "No, Celeste. You love the idea of me. You love the security I give you. But love? Real love? You killed that the moment you let another man touch you." The words cut her. I could see it in her eyes. Good. I wanted her to feel a fraction of what I felt. I turned to leave, but she grabbed my wrist. "Please, don't go. We can fix this." I yanked my arm free. "We? There is no we anymore, Celeste." With that, I walked out, leaving her in the bed she had willingly ruined. As I stepped into the cold night, one thing became clear. I would not be the man who suffered in silence. She had destroyed me. Now it was her turn to feel the pain. The bitterness clung to my tongue like a poison I couldn't spit out. Every breath I took was heavy with betrayal, every step fueled by a rage I had never known. Celeste thought she could weep her way out of this, that words could undo what she had done. She had no idea who she was dealing with. I wasn't the type to scream, to beg, to throw my fists like some crazed fool blinded by heartbreak. No, my pain would become her suffering. My silence would be the storm she never saw coming. The moment I got home, I sat in our bedroom. The same place she had whispered promises of forever. I stared at the framed wedding photo on the dresser, the one where we smiled like fools, believing love was unbreakable. I picked it up and laughed. What a joke! My fingers curled around the frame, but I didn't smash it. Not yet. Breaking glass wouldn't bring me the satisfaction I craved. My revenge needed patience, precision. I reached for my phone and scrolled through the messages I had stolen from hers before leaving that disgusting motel room. Screenshots of her steamy confessions, plans for their next rendezvous, a disgusting love note she had sent, calling him the man of her dreams. I pressed dial. The phone rang twice before a voice answered. Deep, firm, familiar. "James," I smirked. "Hey, Thomas, you busy?" My wife's lover wasn't just some random man she found in a bar. No, Celeste had chosen him. My old college friend. The best man at our wedding. The person I had trusted like a brother. I heard his hesitation, then, no. What's up?" I leaned back, tapping my fingers against the wooden nightstand. "I just wanted to tell you something interesting." A pause. "All right?" I chuckled. "I caught my wife cheating. Today. Guess who the lucky bastard was?" Silence. A thick, telling silence. I let it stretch, savoring it. "James," he finally muttered, voice tight. Save it," I snapped. "I don't want an apology. I don't want excuses. I want you to listen very carefully." He exhaled sharply. "Okay. You're going to tell your wife everything, every disgusting detail, every lie you've told. You're going to confess before I send her the proof myself. James, you have 24 hours. My voice was cold, steady. Or I ruin your entire life." I hung up before he could respond. A deep breath filled my lungs, and for the first time in hours, I felt something close to satisfaction. This was only the beginning. Celeste thought. She had the upper hand, thought she could play me like a fool, but by the time I was done with her, she'd be the one left in ruins. The morning sun filtered through the blinds, casting long golden streaks across the bedroom floor. A quiet stillness filled the house, but inside me, a storm raged. The night had been long, filled with dark thoughts, calculations, and the cold satisfaction of watching the first cracks form in Celeste's perfect little world. Her lover, Thomas, had texted me just after dawn. I told her. She broke down. She knows everything. Please, don't take this further. I smirked at the message. He was scrambling, desperate to contain the destruction, but he had no control anymore. Neither did Celeste. The sound of the front door opening yanked me from my thoughts. Her hurried footsteps clicked against the floor, each one carrying the weight of her regret. "James," she called, her voice shaky. I remained silent, letting her panic build. She found me in the kitchen, sitting at the table with a cup of coffee in hand, utterly calm. Her eyes were red, swollen from crying. "Good. Please," she whispered, stepping closer. "I know I messed up, but we can fix this." I arched an eyebrow. "Fix what, Celeste? The fact that you spread your legs for another man? The fact that you laughed at me behind my back while sneaking around like a whore?" She flinched like I had slapped her. Tears spilled down her cheeks, but I had no sympathy left to give. "I love you," she pleaded. "I swear to God, I love you. It was a mistake." I set my cup down with a deliberate slowness. "A mistake? No, Celeste. A mistake is ordering the wrong coffee. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. What you did was a deliberate, calculated betrayal." She collapsed onto the chair across from me, burying her face in her hands. I was stupid. I got caught up in something that meant nothing. It was never supposed to go this far. I let out a dry laugh. "Not supposed to go this far. You told him he was the man of your dreams. That last night was unforgettable. Tell me, was our wedding night unforgettable, Celeste? Or was that just another lie?" She sobbed harder, fingers clutching the edge of the table like it was the only thing keeping her upright. "Please, James, don't do this. We can go to therapy. We can start over." I leaned forward, my voice dropping into something dangerous. "There is no we," she gasped, her whole body trembling. I slid an envelope across the table. Her eyes flickered downward, hesitant before her shaky hands picked it up. "Divorce papers." Her breath hitched. "No, James, please don't do this. I'll do anything. I'll prove to you that I can be better." I shook my head. "It's over, Celeste. You killed our marriage the second you climbed into bed with him." Her face twisted with desperation, but I could see something else beneath it. Fear. Not just fear of losing me. No, she knew that was already a lost cause, but fear of what she stood to lose. The house, the security, the lifestyle I had provided. "You can keep the car," I said flatly. "But the house? That stays with me. You can take whatever's yours and get out." She stared at me like I had just stabbed her in the heart. "Where am I supposed to go?" "Not my problem." A choked sob escaped her lips, but I stood up, done with this conversation. Her voice wavered. "Do you really hate me that much?" I met her gaze, cold and unyielding. "I don't hate you, Celeste. You're just nothing to me now." With that, I walked out, leaving her alone with the ruins of the life she had set ablaze.